Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Jam. Today, we have a truly inspiring guest joining us. He's a senior in high school who's not only graduating, but also getting ready to take the next big step in his life, and that's playing college football. But his journey hasn't always been easy. During his junior year, he was a victim of a shooting and was shot in the leg. Despite the unimaginable challenge, he fought his way back, both on and off the field. We're honored to have him today. We're honored to have him here on the show to share his story of resilience, determination, and what's next for him as he moves on to the college level. Please welcome Gabriel Montejano, a.k.a. Gibby. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man.
So as we go through this, story, I know he moved here, and he was still struggling with this injury, but we're going to get into all that, and I'm going to let him tell you all of that. This story is a really great story, and it's truly inspiring for a young man to go through this. First, before we get into that, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself? What school did you go to? What position do you play? And what are your plans after graduation?
Right. So I'm a senior in high school right now. Obviously, Northwest. I go to Northwest High School. About to graduate. Obviously that's a great feeling. Even for every student, man. Even if you're an athlete or not an athlete, it's a great feeling. I play offensive guard. I'm gonna go play college football at San Bernardino. It isn't my first choice technically. I was thinking about playing because I got an FCS offer to go play at Northern Arizona University. I decided to turn it down because, my goal is to go play, higher ball, try to go, SEC. And obviously, if it doesn't work out, then God didn't have it planned for me.
What inspired you to start playing football, and what does the game mean to you personally?
So what inspired me to play football was, I remember one day I was just a little kid. I seen my brother playing football, so I decided, that's cool, I wanted to play football too, because it really inspired me. Not only, football's been running in my family, for a while, so I seen a lot of pros, in the NFL and college football, so that really gave me a lot of confidence to go try football. Obviously, my first time playing football wasn't tackle football, but it was more of flag football, because my parents were kind of iffy on it, so as a parent, you're going to be scared if your child's in tackle football. And so, obviously, from flag football, I went to go play tackle football. Now, that switch was, a little different. Obviously, having to play tackle, you got to learn how to tackle. You got to, do all that. But it's a different experience. And for me, I just fell in love with it. I love the contact. I love, being around my teammates, especially, I feel like as a person, I like being a leader. I like to make sure, all my teammates are straight. That everybody around me is good mentally or physically.
Now, you moved to Texas and started playing football at Northwest High School. Where did you move from?
So, yeah, I moved from Arizona. It's a town, and it's like a city. Well, it's like a little city. It's called Yuma, Arizona. So I moved from Yuma to Texas, and, big move. It's from a little town to – man, just the biggest state ever.
Right.
Different ball too. That ball, Texas ball is just, man, different. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's way different.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a really big move for me.
Yeah. Okay. So in Arizona, I guess that's where the incident took place. So take us back to your junior year. I believe that's when it happens. Can you share what happened the night of the shooting?
So taking it back to my night, it was the last week of school. It was the Sunday and Saturday, of the last week. And so I had decided, me and my friends we've been planning to go hang out with each other, but we seen this party, a flyer got sent out. So we seen this party and we wanted to go to it. And I was like, man, I'm down. But definitely it wasn't the greatest choice. But obviously, at the time I wasn't in my clear mind. I wasn't thinking right. So, but going back, so we go to the party, and I'm excited because I'm just there to hang out with my friends. I don't really like partaking. I don't like to put myself in an area where I don't want to be. Especially every party, there's gonna be something bad. That's where I kind of messed up, especially not only as myself, as me as a junior, but also as a student athlete. a student athlete should focus on their career. And so, you know what I mean, back to where I was at. Going into the house, I already started getting a bad vibe. The vibe there just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Especially like I'm just looking at my friend, we're looking at each other, we're just kind of like, all right, we both kind of got the same vibe, like, all right, that's not it. So, but we go in the back because our friends were there too. There's a back of the house and a backyard. I would say like we've been there for a little minute, not even a minute, like I'd say like 15 minutes, man, max, or maybe 20. I can kind of feel the tension kind of getting up. And so I told my friend, I'm like, hey man, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I'm just trying to go. And he's like, no, we'll go in a minute. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm ready to go. Now, here's where things start getting a little interesting. There's a guy sitting like where the doors are, where the sliding doors are. The guy laying on the wall, on his phone. And so these guys just roll up, and there's like a gun cocks back. Everybody starts kind of getting moving around. Everybody gets scared because they hear that gun cock back. And it's a very scary moment, especially when you haven't heard a gun. Now, me personally, I grew up with guns because my pops was in the military as well. Right. And he's a law enforcement officer. So, I grew up shooting guns. Obviously I didn't, I wasn't part of the shooting. Right. But, man. Yeah, so everybody started moving around, and But I think what really set it off is when they went up to him, they started jumping him. I'd say maybe there's about like 3 or 4 of them.
Now, you told me when me and you talked. For one, you just mentioned you had that gut feeling. Yeah. And then the guys roll up. Were they masked up? I can't remember. Did they have masks on when they came?
Yeah. Yeah, they were masked up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I couldn't even tell you who it was. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah. So these guys roll up. Obviously they're there for one man only. Mm-hmm. And so they start jumping this guy. Things start getting more interesting. Mm-hmm. More intense, more scarier. So from there, I remember I was walking kind of away from that area, and there's a wall, and then there's a gate to where I was. So I was kind of, look, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a heavy dude, so jumping the wall ain't. Yeah. It was a pretty high wall too. Yeah. So I was like, man, if I jump the wall, there's gonna be bullets flying because already, when I turned my back from them, I already, they were already fighting, and then I heard guns start popping off. Mm-hmm. That's where my agility really kicked in. So I kind of got scared. And everyone does that. Everyone gets scared, especially when they hear like a loud pop. So obviously I'm not thinking here. I'm just using like my life to I'm just thinking about my life here. And so I thought about jumping the wall, but I'm like, it's not worth it because, I don't know if these guys are going to, spray, whatever they're going to do. So I started ducking because I heard like the bullets flying by. And so I'm walking towards, or I'm kind of like shimmying, like I'm kind of like moving my way towards the gate. And as soon as I get up and start moving and start running towards the gate is when I got shot in my leg. I felt the impact. The impact was super strong. I believe this bullet was a 5.56 round by AR, super powerful. It's a high-powered bullet, so it's gonna strike you really bad. So the impact, it really took me out. That one was horrible. I fell to the ground. Obviously wasn't the greatest pain ever. But I think at that time and moment that I really thought I was going to die, man. Because the way the bullet had impacted me is that the bullet tumbled in the air. So it exploded. The round exploded when it impacted in me, and it blew up my leg. So, obviously, I thank God, truly, because, this bullet could have went through me, hit an artery, but it didn't hit nothing. It didn't hit nothing crazy, no crazy nerves, no nothing.
Yeah, so when the bullet hit you, you went down. You went down to the ground when
Yes.
the bullet hit you, because obviously that's a powerful rifle. You're trying to run and you get hit in the leg. So
Yeah.
what's going through your mind in that moment when you get hit and you realize, man, I've been shot, and you're on the ground?
I would say it's like, I don't know, it's a different experience. I'll tell you that much. It's one of those experiences where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the outcome. And it's a very scary moment because you don't know whether you're going to be safe after that, because even when I got impacted, when the bullet impacted me, they were still shooting. So I didn't know. So my first instinct was to go down and kind of duck more. And obviously, thank God I didn't get hit more, obviously. But what was going through my head was just like, man, I'm like, this is really happening. I really just got hit by a bullet, and I don't know if I'm gonna live. You know what I mean? And these situations start going through your mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe it's not gonna be that bad, or what I mean, or like I'm gonna die. You know what I mean?
So, do you remember your first thoughts after the incident? Did you think about your life, your health, and even your football career?
Oh yeah. Especially when I got impacted. When I looked into my wound, and when I was laying on the ground, I looked into my wound. I already knew. I was like, my football career is over. I really thought my football career was over. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to play football no more. I probably won't be able to walk no more. You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen more? And especially, even the amount of blood I had lost, you know what I mean? I thought I was going to die there. I thought this is really my last moment. You know what I mean? Dying here at a party, which, you know what I mean, obviously wouldn't be the greatest thing ever. But
right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But obviously, God is good. And I was able to survive that, and here I am now talking about it.
So how did your family and friends and even your teammates, how did they respond when they found out what had happened?
Right. So during that night, I had called my brother first, because me and my brother, we have a close relationship. I love my brother to death. I love matter of fact, I love both of my brothers. But I called my second oldest brother first to let him know what happened. And that was, for him, getting his perspective, that was a scary moment for him, because he said he just stopped everything he was doing, got in the car, and just drove straight to my location. And he at first he thought I was joking, because I'm not gonna lie, I do be joking with my brother, but obviously not that crazy to the point where I'm, like, oh, I'm shot. But he said it was a very scary moment for him, because he thought that his brother would die. You know what I mean? Obviously, when you have a close bond like that, you don't want, that person to go. Now, my family, my parents, they were actually currently, because we were currently in the moving process when everything was going on. So my parents were here in the DFW.
Texas,
yeah, they were here. So I remember I called my dad, and I told him, like, oh, Dad, I had been shot. I'm shot. And he's like, no way. This can't be real.
Is this still while you're at the party, or are you at the ambulance?
I'm still at the party.
Really?
Mind you, it took a minute for the cops to get there. I remember an off-duty officer responded to this, though, because he was in the area. He came in and cleared everything when the shooters left, obviously. Yeah. And so I think it took a minute for the cops to get there. I can't lie. And the ambulance, too. But, I was still there, and I was talking to my parents, and my dad was just, it was obviously jaw-dropping, because, you wouldn't want, as a parent, you wouldn't want that happening to
that
your
call.
Yeah. And obviously, it's also a very scary moment, because not only did this happen, but you're in a different state,
right?
And trying to get a flight is obviously not easy nowadays. With with everything going on, and so, but a very scary moment for them. I just know that to this day they're super happy, and they are really happy that I'm still alive. And not only am I still alive, but still going to play college football, doing what I want to do.
Yeah. So let's talk about the recovery process. What was the recovery process like, both physically and mentally?
So I'll say this. It wasn't easy. Definitely the recovery process, man, it's just such a long time. Because when I got to the hospital, I was in there for 2-3 weeks. I'd say 3 weeks I was in the hospital. So it took me, I think it took 3 surgeries to be able to kind of close this cut, put stitches on it. Now, the whole process I think it took me about like 6 to 7 months to get back in shape and all that. So definitely my mentality was different because at the time I didn't know if I was going to be able to play football again. You know what I mean? My main focus was just getting back on my feet. That was my main focus. And so I started using crutches very early, actually. I remember I'd be pushing my doctors, like, am I good to go? Am I good to go? You know what I mean? Would I be able to walk? Will I be able to do this yet? And obviously, I really thank my surgeons. I think the doctors, give God glory for being able to give the knowledge to these guys, because this device that they use is crazy. They barely use this device. And I was always telling my doctors, like, I just want to play football. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get better so I'm able to to do what I need to do. And so
do you think that helped with your recovery, like having that mental state? Because, I'm sure there was moments when you thought that you might not play college football, or were you like, nah, I'm going to bounce back and I'm going to play football again? Like, what was that mindset like when it came to football?
Right. So that mindset was definitely, I want to play football again. I'm trying to get back on my feet, and as soon as possible. Because if you got a mentality that's like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to play football, I'm going to quit football. Then you're going to quit football. You're going to have that you're going to have your mindset to where, oh yeah, I'm just going to get back on my feet and that's it. But my mindset was, I want to get back on my feet, but at the same time, I want to get back into shape so I'm able to play football. It also has a lot to do with you as a person working on yourself. Because without working on yourself, you can't really accomplish what you want to do.
So who or what motivated you to keep pushing through that rehab? Because I'm sure you may have had some setbacks. So who motivated you to keep going and help you get back on the field?
I would say my family. My family definitely did. Because, I've always wanted to play football in a higher level. So when my parents, when they saw me back on my feet, they're like, you'll be able to play football again. And, and I knew this. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to play football again. And so they really pushed me, and they made sure that every day I was doing my tasks and what I was doing right, so I can be able to play football again, get back on my feet, be able to push forward.
So what were some of the biggest obstacles that you had or that you faced during your recovery? Because I'm sure it wasn't just all easy. Well, what were some of the biggest things that you had to deal with?
Right. So obviously I had been in crutches for a minute, and obviously a wheelchair as well. So getting back on my leg was a big obstacle because of the weight difference. Getting back on my feet wasn't the easiest because you have to put pressure. You haven't been putting pressure on your foot for a minute, so your leg's not gonna be too. It's not gonna end well for you. But definitely that was one of the biggest obstacles, was just trying to get my leg back at that same weight. Another thing is that when I was finally able to walk again, I was sent to a physical therapist. It was definitely one of those moments where it's like, okay, I'm here. That means that I'm able to do something. So being able to exercise my leg was definitely a big moment. But at the same time, it wasn't easy because you also had to match the other leg. And so, because I had lost a lot of muscle in this leg right here, my right leg. So definitely it was a big struggle.
So when did you finally get back to playing football, and how did it feel stepping back onto the field for the first time after being shot in the leg?
Right. So I would say, man, I think either October or November. I think one of those 2 months. I came back to football because I had got cleared by my physical therapist to go play football again. I think one of the scariest things for me was like, because of my leg, like if it was gonna hurt if I got tackled, or if it made an impact on something. Definitely that was one of my concerns, and also my doctor's concerns as well. It was about like October or November when I got back to playing football. It was definitely not the easiest thing to get back to playing football because of all the conditioning. Especially as an offensive lineman, you got to do a lot of it's a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how has this experience shaped the kind of athlete and teammate that you are today?
So this has shaped me today as always pushing. know what I mean, pushing to what I need to go to. You know what I mean, having the mindset where that I'm not at my greatest yet is definitely helped me throughout this whole seasons. You know what I mean, through my junior season and also my senior season, because it's always get me to where I am now. Obviously, I didn't have the greatest junior season because I was still getting back into what, you know what I mean, into football. I was still, you know, getting my leg back to being normal. The senior season, it really taught me a lot because I was able to, not only was I able to play a little bit of Texas football and be able to get that PT that I needed to not only get a Division I offer from a FCS school, but being able just to go play college football and get recognized because, man, it's not easy, you know what I mean, especially as a student athlete, being able to accomplish not only moving from another state, you know, with different education level, but also with the Texas football and, you know what I mean, the different types of football, the intensity.
So what are some of your goals in the future when it comes to playing college football? Because you obviously say you're going to go and play. So what are some of your short-term goals?
Right. So obviously, for me, I'm a little bit undersized. So one of my goals is definitely going to play, you know, obviously at a higher level like SEC ball. But another one is just to get noticed by a lot of people, and especially my story that not only, you know, am I undersized, but getting shot is not the easiest thing ever. Definitely, I want people to notice that even if you're short, even if you're, you know what I mean, just a little short, you can go play football at college level. Even if it's D2, D3, you know what I mean, college football is still college football. That's the thing that people don't realize, you know what I mean? They think like, oh, JUCO's bad, you know what I mean? JUCO sucks. I'm like, nah, man, you don't understand. You know, these people got this bounce backs, you know, people from SEC schools, from all these, you know, D1 schools that come back to JUCO so they can, you know, hit a transfer portal again. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know what I mean, everybody just can play college football. It's not for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as we reflect and look back, what do you think students should know about the decisions they make and the environments that they put themselves in? For instance, like when you went, you said you had a gut feeling. So what should students know about those decisions before they make them?
I would say look at your career, honestly. Not only that, just think about where you're going. Think about who you're with. Think about what you're doing. And, you know what I mean, those things, you know what I mean, think about what ifs, you know what I mean? Because honestly, what ifs will save your life. You know, taking precautions, especially if you're a student athlete and, you know what I mean, if you're going to go far, you know, into go and play in a next level, you want to make sure that everything that you do is on point and that, you know what I mean, especially that you're healthy and that you're not getting into bad stuff.
Yeah. I say that all the time. I'm like, it just takes a second to think, okay, what if this party gets shot up and I'm there, you know? And then, like you said, when you got to the party, you had a gut feeling. When you guys have that gut feeling, it's good to say, hey, let's move around, let's get out of here because I just don't feel right. So I think everybody, you know, students, adults, if you have that feeling, then it might be time to move around. And it takes a split second to think, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. It's probably not a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
So what would you say to someone who might be going through some sort of traumatic experience or life-altering experience right now? What would you say to them?
I would say definitely it's not going to be the easiest thing ever, but push through because you never know what's the outcome. And obviously my outcome was totally different from what people thought was going to be, from what doctors thought it was going to be, from, you know what I mean, from anyone who heard about my story, who, you know what I mean, saw that I got shot, who heard that I got shot. They thought, oh, you know what I mean, this kid would just quit football. This kid would, you know, just obviously they're going to have doubts. You're going to have doubts in your mind. You're going to, you know what I mean, oh, will I ever be able to do this again? You know what I mean, what will people think of me? But my message to that is just to push through and let God, you know, guide you through your path.
So how can like schools and coaches and parents and communities, how can they do a better job of supporting students who experience violence or trauma? How do you think they can do a better job at that?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I mean, obviously there's a lot of kids who go through traumatic injuries all the time, you know what I mean, events and stuff. Definitely, I think being able to get the right word, like from teachers, from coaches, The schools being able to help that student get through what they need to get through, and understanding them is definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those supporting that you need, because a lot of kids nowadays, especially a lot of teens, don't really support each other, and that's just in any team. That's they don't support each other. They got their differences. So yeah, definitely coaches and teachers. Let them talking to the student. Hey, how are you feeling? How are you doing? If you need help, let me know.
What message, and I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but what message do you hope that people take away from your story that they're hearing here today? What message would you like for them to take away from this?
Obviously, big message is obviously don't make dumb decisions. Nah, man. Obviously, through my experience of getting shot and being in a traumatic injury like this, in a traumatic event, I would say just push through. One way or another. If I heard this one thing. I think it was in a video. It's like if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If anything, just don't stop.
Yeah.
Just don't stop, man. Just push through, because then who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. So if you could go back and talk to the young Gibby, if you can go back and talk to your younger self before the incident, what would you say?
Oh man, I would say a lot of things. I'd be able to, man. I'd just tell him he's an idiot. That's what I would tell him. He's a dumb. Definitely, I would tell him. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Just think about your career. Think about, who you're friends with. Think about what you're doing right now. That's what I would definitely tell him.
Yeah. All right. So, any special shout outs or thank you for anyone helping you get to this point right now where you are?
I want to make some shout outs to some coaches. Shout out Coach Schutz. I want to make a shout out to my family, and obviously I give glory to God for being able to be here today, because He really is the way, the truth, the life. Without Him, I don't know what I would be.
Yeah. So I know you said that college football is next for you. What other plans do you have outside of football for your future? And as we wrap this up, not only your plans for your future outside of football, like what do you plan to do with your life outside of football, but also how do you hope that your story will inspire others that hear this?
Right. So my plans, definitely, even after football, is to go into radiology. That was my main thing. Either radiology, kinesology. But I think another one is I've always wanted to get into coaching. And I've always seen myself as a coach, especially with my teammates. I've always coached my teammates up, and even if they made mistakes, or I just like being around like a team, around a group of people, because it makes I don't know, just I'm able to express myself, and at the same time help them and support them.
Well, Gibby, man, I appreciate you coming on to the show, man. Your story is truly inspiring, and I know you getting shot in the leg, that had you jammed. But if you guys didn't understand or hear anything that he said in this message, if you're going through a hard time, don't let that hold you back. You have to push through, man. So I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, man. I thank you, for allowing me to be on this, being able to share my story. Not many people hear stories like this. So, obviously it's a great time to be here.
Yeah, so anybody out there, if you're facing hard times, do like my boy Gibby did here and push through. If not, you may be jammed. Thanks for listening.